why helping isn't always helping. And if you rescue, then you're actually helping them sink. Rescuing causes people to sink instead of really help them. So sometimes love makes us want to save people, that are struggling because we care about them. Of course, we love them and we're so concerned. However, we got to be careful not to enable them. And here's how you help people that are struggling and not rescue and not contribute to their sinking, which in my case, for my field of work, I work with people that mostly are trying to avoid drinking. So rescuing can really, really hold people back because they cannot, if you're rescuing, running in before they can apply the tools, then they won't learn the tools that they need when you're not there. There's not always going to be a person there. They have to learn how to be their own hero and pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. So you running in and rescuing them prevents them from doing that. But you could still be supporting and not rescue. And there's a difference. Supporting is approaching it in a completely different manner that doesn't rescue them, that doesn't attempt to solve the problem for them. You simply tell them where to look, but you don't give them the answer. You lead them to the answer. For example, the only thing I can think of is an example with the 12 steps. So I am really, really active in teaching women how to work the 12 steps the way I was taught. There's many different ways, but I only know the way I was taught. So that's the only thing that I do. I share what worked for me. And there's a systematic way of working the 12 steps that is very in-depth that I got to do. It's very in-depth, it's very thorough, and it provides a really firm foundation for knowing the 12 steps and how, more importantly, how to apply the 12 steps to your daily life, which is where most people fall short. So, supporting means showing them where to look, showing them what the answer, where it's found, and how to apply it themselves. So don't teach them to be reliant on you. Teach them so they can use the tools too, even when you're not there. So how to set boundaries without guilt when you're wanting to save them, but you can't. You're wanting to rescue them, but you can't. So you set boundaries without guilt by telling them what you will do, what you can do. Let's see, for example, one time one of the old timers that was incontinent, and I had always given him rides to meetings. And I didn't mind doing that until he was refusing to wear his diapers correctly. And every time I rode in my car, he peed on my seats. So this was a problem. I had to set a boundary because I could not keep taking him and having him soil my seats. So I told him what I would do is I would send him an Uber driver if that's what he would like me to do. But I wasn't going to pick him up any longer because my seats kept getting ruined. And so that's what I did. He called me and I sent him an Uber when he needed a ride instead. Told him what I was willing to do and what I wasn't willing to do. And that's how you set a boundary without guilt. Think of what you are willing to do. And don't do any more than that. You gotta set boundaries in helping people so that they don't run all over you, so that you don't get resentful. Looking at my notes here. Made some notes. before I made this video for you, how to help people. And really, what I really want to drive home is that the point that if you are rescuing them, telling them what to do, picking them up for rides, and like a lot, so that they're not even having to try. If you're carrying them, well, then you're playing Captain Save-A-Ho, and you're not allowing them the opportunity to rely on their God and grow. And that's what you need to do. So don't enable them. By not doing that, by not enabling them, you're showing them that you believe in them. You believe they're strong enough to apply the tools. If you're rescuing them and trying to do everything for them, it also sends a message that you don't believe they could do it. That you think you're the only one that could do it for them. Well, then they are not going to learn how to be their own hero. Glad I could edit this out. How real love empowers instead of enables. Yeah. Real love empowers instead of enables. Real love empowers them to apply tools themselves. Real love does not enable by buying them vices, by telling them what to do. Real love empowers them to find the answer within themselves too. Don't ever give unsolicited advice. Even if you know you're right, do not do it. Never ever give advice unless they ask you for it, or you ask first, can I give you a piece of advice? And they might say no, and honor that. Just say, okay, let God handle it. They have a God, and it's not you.